All right, here we are. Let's do this. All right, so give me 1 second. Gonna do this live. Okay, so I'm in two contracts right here at 1.50 for these 3950 SPX puts. This is exactly what I'm watching right now. I'm watching this downtrend from earlier, and I'm looking for that reversal on this red line. So I have it red so people can. I have it color coded right now so people can see that I'm looking for the downside on this play. I'm looking for this downtrend retest, and then a drop down to low of the day. I would most likely start to scale out of my position here, or I would hold on and then leave some runners right down here for this low of the day gap fill. Um, so I'm still looking at this level. I talked about this on the live with Sean and all them. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. It's even a little bit lower than where I got it. It's at 394.25. So I'm still looking at this gap fill. I would erase those to make it look easier, but this is my trade. So I'm looking at this almost like a descending triangle. We hit this low of the day mark and we started to reverse, but now I'm looking for a little pop up to this 396.56. I'm in two just to feel something crazy, but I have most of my position down here down at 110. I'm probably going to buy 10 of them to see if I can get a clear reversal. If not, I would take a probably, let's say $300 loss is max loss. So $300 loss for a most likely a $1,500 gain here. So that's about a 5R for me, which is really hits home. So a 5R risk reward to ratio is always what I want to play. So this is what I'm playing right now. I'm looking for this really good opportunity right now. So this could be massive. What's up, Zach? We're gonna get this trade going. I'm playing the SPX. For those that don't know, I'm playing the SPX puts 3950s. They're at 140 right now. I'm waiting for this downtrend test. Looks like it's starting to cook up a little bit here. If it breaks out and goes right through this red line, then obviously the risk to reward ratio was still there for me. So really good setup right now. I'm in two at 150. I know they're a little bit lower. I just wanted to get in just so I didn't miss out, just in case it did tank to low of the day. So we're just gonna wait here, see if this trade finally plays out. It's chop hours. I'm waiting for that red mark here. I was hoping to get 10 around that $100 mark. I have two resting at 110. I might actually push these down to 100. So got some at 110, some at 100 here. So I'm really looking to scale down here. I'm looking to get 10 of these if possible. So put about $1,200 at risk here, potentially make about $1,500. I will take that risk to reward any day of the week. So descending triangle, looking beautiful to me. And with this gap fill down to 394.50, I still think we're going to that level. If anybody has any other ideas, let me know. If it squeezes up on me and starts breaking out, then, well, at least we'll have our stop loss. Stop loss can be your best friend. I'm having a very, very slow day today. I think I'm only up like $100 some, but did you work at the NYC? You are so lucky. I did work at the NYC. The NYC is, it was a really cool experience. I think I have, oh no, they're in Florida. I have a place in Florida, but I was thinking if I had any material in here. But I did work at the NYC. I have some photos of me on the floor I'll show after this trade if you're interested. See me on like the cover of CNBC sometimes. Sometimes you'll see me in articles on Fox News, Fox Business. They still use my photos today. So if this rejects right here, I'm going to be pretty upset. But I only have two contracts. I really want to get my average to like that 1,200 range because I feel like that's my best risk to reward ratio. But even if it does fall, and right now I'd still make about $400 or $500 on the trade, which is, pretty good. That's usually my go-to daily goal is to make about 500 to 1,000 a day, but would really love to get 10 of these and have a big day, a couple $1,000, but I don't know if it's going to test my red line that I have drawn here. But yes, I did work on the NYSE. The NYSE was one of the coolest experiences of all time for me because I got to meet so many cool people. I think a lot of people in here already know that. You can follow all my stuff. I have an Instagram that I've been posting a lot more recently. I kind of took a little bit of a break because I was creating a course for everything I literally have consumed over the last 10 years. But you can find all my content on NextEra_trading, Next Era Trading. On Instagram, I have all my platforms too. TikTok, I hate TikTok. It's kind of dry. And then my YouTube, obviously, Next Era Trading, NXTERA Trading. But let's get this up to this red mark, please. Let's get this up to this little descending triangle action. I have a picture of this just in case people want to see what it looks like, just so you can see what I'm seeing. Make it a lot easier. Chart patterns, give me a descending triangle. Tell me if this looks very similar. Boom. Does that look similar there? Looks pretty damn similar to me, guys. So let's get this little breakout over here, and then let's see that big drop down. So that's why I'm only in 2, just to make sure that I don't miss it completely. But I want 10 around this level, around 396.70. I'd probably scale into about 5 to 10 more, and then my max loss would be about $400, which is a-okay with me because I've had a pretty long streak of green. I think I did have one red day, maybe one red day of like $100 last week. I can't remember, but yesterday was pretty flat for me as well. So we're just kind of just waiting. I feel like I'm just waiting for the best opportunities, and I feel like this is the best opportunity. So we're gonna wait for this, bounces, and don't be scared if it breaks out a little bit. If it breaks out and squeezes, then we got to be scared. But if it breaks out and there's a lower wick, we're in business. So just make sure you understand that. I'm a scalper technically. You are also watching SPX or ES charts while trading SPX options. Yeah, SPX is down here. So let me get rid of this. SPX I have down here, so I kind of keep it consumed by this. So still a downtrend. I still have 2 entries a little bit above that line, which is exactly what the descending triangle always does. Not always, but you understand. Damn, I should have sold puts on this earlier. I was really looking at selling puts on coin earlier. Selling puts would have been a bag. I probably would have collected most of that premium. Same thing with Chewy. Chewy has earnings. Thought about selling some premiums yesterday when it was at 36. Hit literally the perfect of my support line. Look at this. Literally bounced off my support line right here. Should have sold the puts. I would have collected all that premium too. But going back to the SPY, let's go to the 5-minute chart here. See how it's getting. See how there's so many upper shadows up here. It's weak, but I do still want to see that test of this downtrend for me to buy anymore. I just want to see the price action right there. It'd be really cool. It does kind of scare me a little bit that the VWAP is at 396.85, so it's a lot of rip. Maybe it'll consolidate a little bit and we could get it around this 396.60. So we'll wait. So still at 140. Theta is starting to hit me a little bit, but I feel like that big move is really coming. Low of the day was at 105. Kind of wish I didn't get in at 150, but here we are. Just two of them because I didn't want to miss out. So you're not going to hold your trade at all to the green line. No, I am. So this is my trade idea. So everybody knows how options work and how options bounce off support and resistance lines. So clearly this is a support line. Bounced off this, bounced off again, and here we are. So now, as these Bollinger Bands, which is this bottom green line, as they start to expand, that means that there's more room for them to run. So my trade idea here is to take more puts. I have some right now that are down or flat. They're at 145, so I'm down $10 on them because I have 2. But I'm looking to get 10, risk about $1,200 on the trade here. And if I can get 10 of them, risk $1,200, I will have $300 that I'm max willing to lose because that would put me down $200 on the day because I'm already up 100. But I want to have a nice average here, about 10 contracts. As soon as it hits this, I'm going to look for this breakdown. And then as soon as it hits this yellow line, I would start to scale out. Maybe I would sell 6, 7, maybe 8, and let 2 of them ride for this breakdown towards the green low of the day. So that's kind of how I go. This will be my main trade here. This will probably run about $100, $200, which would be about $1,000 to $2,000, maybe a little bit less depending. But I could make a good amount of money off of this tap. Breakdown here, sell about 70 to 80% of my play, and then the next 2 I would sell and hold for the run because those would take these contracts from here to here, probably an extra $200-$300 a piece because they would go close to the money. SPX low of the day was 3971. These are the 3950s, and if we get down to that gap fill, it's going to be 3956. So it'd be pretty close to the money, and these would pay out really, really well, probably around $500-$600 a piece at that green line. So just got to be patient. It's early. It's choppy. It's 12:24, so that's kind of what I'm waiting for right now. I'm looking for this real good move right here. And if for those of you just joining in, this is why. So chart pattern here. Breakdown. Looking for a little bit of a spike out above this, around that 396.60. Would scale in a little bit more. Have some entries at about 101.10. So these are really cheap, but these could end up paying really well as well. Might be smarter for me to do the 39.60s, but I'm just gonna stick with these because they're gonna be cheap. And if we completely collapse after this, these will pay regardless. It's only $30 away, so that's nothing. $30 away at 12.25. Could easily see that mark. So I'm down 15 a contract right now, but I have a scale in here at 110, some at 100 here. I'm really looking for a nice push above that 39.50 to scale in some more. I probably was a little bit impatient on these 150s, but I just don't want to miss out on this drop because I feel like this drop could be pretty nice. So anybody that's looking for my entry point, it'll be right around this 396.62 area. So here we go. We're starting to gear up a little bit. Got to be patient on this one, waiting for this test. Maybe we can get a little bit outside of it. Remember here that it's this that we're looking for. Looking pretty similar here. The breakdown, the retest, the breakdown again. Have another double bottom here. Now we're bouncing one more time to retest this, and maybe as it gets tighter and tighter, we could see a real drop below this descending triangle. So let's see what we got going on. Oh, we got filled on one at 110, so now we have 3 contracts. Average is 135 here. See if we can get one at 100. Do you check the 2 minute or 1 minute or only the 5 minute? I got the 5 minute. This is the 1 minute on my right side here, and I love to look at the 15 as well. So 15 still holding that downtrend as well. We're about to break out of this. Let's see if we can get one at 1 here. It's not filling me. Got one at 105. Let's see if we can get these 2 at 100 here. Keep in mind that my stop loss is going to be about $300 on the trade. And I think I'm down a little bit right now. I'm down 85 on the trade. Only up 17 bucks on the day. It's been a very slow day for me, but if this plays out, it could be a really great trade. Really trying to get 100, but it's not filling me just yet. I might have missed that entry. If you look at it, it's like right around this level. I think I only have 4 contracts, but if you look at the descending triangle here, it's starting to break out a tiny bit. Maybe the next one will be a little bit higher and then we get rejected. So still waiting just a little bit. Got to be a little bit patient here. Looks like it's starting to get that point, which would suck. Down 10%. How many do I have? I only have 4 contracts. Damn it. 4 contracts would probably pay about 600 bucks though if it really does start to break down. Maybe 1,000. Had a slow day. Haven't really seen too many opportunities with the low volatility chop, but let's see if we can get in 6 contracts here at 100. The 39.60s are probably going to be better value, 39.70s, but I am going to play the 39.50s. See what goes on here. The time and sales, 50. My stop loss is probably going to be that 397 break, which would probably put me out. 6 contracts, about 120. 6 times 7, yeah. Be about 420. So I would go down about $300 on the day if I stop myself out at 50 cents on 6 contracts. But I'm looking for one more push. It is retesting this downtrend. Seen a little bit of weakness here, but I feel like there's some buyers sitting right on this time and sales data. Would love for them to execute me on these 2 here, but it looks like they might not. I know I could just go up to this 1.05, but I'm going to be stubborn here. I'm going to be stubborn. I'm going to wait for one little more stop out here around 396.70. Maybe it'll hit me, and then it could drop. Let me know if anybody plays along with this or if you're just watching. If you do, if you play along with it, you could also play the SPY a couple of days out as well. You know, it does have some bullish momentum right now. I don't see a ton of volume, but I am playing this descending triangle. All right, guys, make sure you keep your stops small. When you're in, keep your stops real small. 39.60s is pretty good. 39.70s are good. SPY a couple days out is good. Let's see if we can get these sellers stepping in here. I got this downtrend on the 15-minute chart. The 15 just opened up another candle. Here comes that 5-minute candle. Let's see if we can get this one fill now. Here's that second test. If it starts to squeeze, that's an issue. But that's a risk you always have to take. All right, so we're in those two at once, and now we have 6 contracts at 120. What is going on here? I'm all disoriented. Make sure you watch this. Needs to have a wick down here. So starting to break out a little bit. Has a little bit of a breakout on this candlestick too. But if it starts to come down, that's when we can start to secure some momentum to the downside. So it's at 95. It's at 20. So I have 6 contracts down 20 apiece. So about 130. I am only going to lose. I'll probably put my stop loss down here at 80. So I'll probably stop myself out half at 80. So 4 times 6 would be about 240. I'll put $300 at risk on this trade. So now my stop is going to be a 0.75. If it hits me, it's pretty brutal, but it is getting closer. So I might push this down to 0.75. The only issue here is this VWAP level. Could be patient here, but I am pretty far out of the money at these 239.50s. So if that descending triangle doesn't work out, that's a pretty brutal situation because it is starting to break out on the 15-minute chart over here. This VWAP might get tested. So we might have 20 more cents out there, which is pretty brutal. Might be pretty... The volume is just so low. I'm not seeing any sellers come in just yet. Push this down to 0.70. Trying to be patient as possible here. It's not looking so good though. I got in a little high. I wanted that $100 mark. Pushing up a little bit more. Gonna be down. Oof. Damn, it's getting squeezed, guys. Not looking good. If it goes above this, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna get stopped. I'm gonna set my stop right here. Probably lose that 300. Damn, they really just completely took it above that descending triangle with that breakout. Down 250 on the trade, down 118 on the day. It's not bad, but was really hoping that they would push that back down. So maybe this VWAP could save us, but it looks like there's a lot of bullish momentum and they want this back up. But we'll see. Still not out just yet. 6 contracts, about $15 more down. You can see this is going to be the ultimate test. If it breaks out above this VWAP line, it will stop me out. It has some momentum. And honestly, if this hasn't closed above this yet, then we still have an opportunity here. Same with the 15-minute chart. There's still an opportunity, but this is looking a little bit like it could go against us. Down 190 on it, 88 on the day. 6 contracts. I'm going to push the stop loss up just a little bit just to mitigate my loss in case it does continue to squeeze because it does look bullish now. Yeah, it looks like it's going to stop me. Unfortunate. Had to play the descending triangle, though. Have to play that every single time I see it, especially when the gap fill all the way down on the daily chart is not yet filled. But with the Federal Reserve meeting tomorrow at 394, I should expect some chop. But I'm going to play that trade every single time I see it. Just unfortunate that it stops me, but got to keep your stop losses small. So still struggling with the day. I'm down $100. Going to be down probably 170 after that trade, but I'm gonna look for a good one for the downside, or I guess maybe even the upside, because there's going to be a lot more upside to come if this breaks above this. You can start to see that this Bollinger Band right here is starting to expand, which I'm not really a fan of for this upside, but there is a lot of volume here. Now, this lot of volume could mean that there's a lot of buyers at this level, which it looks like it's about to take it up and stop me out. But people are fighting at that VWAP level, so moment of truth, whether it stops me out or it starts to go our way. Because if it starts to go our way, it's going to break down to that low of the day mark. Starting to lose some buyers over here, 74, 72. If we can close below this line, that would show a nice rejection to me, but it's starting to sit up at that level. This volume that's coming in here is a little bit tricky. It's at 95 now. Let's see if we can actually get this sell off. We're starting to see some sellers push this back down. Does this descend? It's a weird descending triangle for me right now because it broke out quite a bit, but that VWAP level did look pretty strong. So if we look at this, it's a little off. It's a little off here because it did break out towards that VWAP level. Now it could come back down, retest this red line, then break out because this Bollinger Band is expanding to the top. But I am playing this level right here on this descending triangle formation. So See if we can break back below into this. I don't like that it closed above that descending triangle, but this 15-minute chart still has a lot of room down. So I'm down 80 bucks on the trade as of right now. I could push my stop loss up because if it bounces here, it's most likely going to break out. So I could put this at 80 here. So 40 times 3 would be 120, would be about a 250 loss. And I'd only be down 150 on the day. But if it starts to break down here, we could get that rejection. But I do want to say that most of the time when it does break these downtrend lines, it usually likes to retest, then bounce. But the 15-minute hasn't closed yet, and this looks pretty bearish to me. So do have some time here, do have a little bit of an opportunity. Just need to see some weakness and some sellers come in on this time and sales data right here. So below 396.50, I would feel a little bit more confident. We did get a buyer and a seller here. All right, so we're starting to push it down. This could be a really great trade. I just don't want to see a bounce at this line. Just want to get right back into this level, and I'll feel much more confident. But I'm not going to get my hopes up. Usually when it breaks above this 5-minute chart, I don't like to see that at all when it closes above the downtrend. So downtrend is broken. We could see a bounce, and it could stop me out here at 80. I'm going to push this back down to 0.75. It's going to stop me here if this comes green at all. But this is a little hanging man candle right here. So unless it goes green, which it just did, that's not a good sign. All right, so we're going to get stopped out of this trade most likely and be down 150 on the day. Gonna have to fight back. That is looking green. How's the whole market looking? Is Amazon weak? No. Okay, that's not a good sign. Meta, also not a good sign. Tesla, yeah, everything's pretty strong. So to play the downside might be pretty tough right here. But we will see. See if this descending triangle plays out or it stops us out. The reason that this might not work is because this Bollinger Band is now starting to expand, and it looks pretty weak. So looks like we're going to be down 150 on the day. So you buy a put at the high of the triangle. Do you wait for it to break the downside of the bottom? Or is that holding for too long? I usually like to play the descending triangle right here. I did scale in a little early, which is why I lost 200 bucks on the trade, 260 on the trade. But usually I like to scale in on this breakout. But with this VWAP so high, it kind of threw it off a little bit for me. I was looking for more around this level on the actual downtrend. Once it breaks out this 396.66, I was looking for the entry right around here, but I did scale in a little bit because I was a little bit nervous with these upper shadows that it might fall down on me. So I wanted to get a little bit of extra action with most of my contracts right here. I wanted 10, but I ended up only doing 6 because it's kind of breaking that real trend. So this descending triangle, if you look at it right here, it's not usually that high of a wick, and they don't really close above it. So that's why this might not be a good opportunity for us right now. 15 does look pretty good, but this could see a bounce at any point with this Bollinger Band expanding. So it doesn't have the perfect setup here on the descending triangle anymore, but still there. So I'm looking to see if it has any sort of weakness, but I do have my stop loss set at 0.75, which would stop me out about $170 down on the day. So just been playing with small losses on the downside, but on those right sides, obviously, if this goes our way, 6 contracts for me, all the way down to that $300 level, would be paying about 800 bucks. Am I trading the FOMC meeting tomorrow, just tuning in? I am, but I'm going to wait till after. So there will be no trading from me before 2 p.m. because the premiums are so inflated. It makes no sense for me to be a part of that. So I'm still, my average is at 120. I'm down 15 a contract. If we can start to see some sellers down here, this could be a good opportunity. But we just don't want to see that bounce on this level, which we've seen a million times. So it hasn't gone just yet. So there's a little bit of faith here with this 15-minute chart still looking decent. Let's see what happens here. I wanted my average to be at this 1, but I did scale in at 120, or 150, which brought my average up just a little bit. We're starting to see some sellers, lots of volume. This could be the trade of the century here. Just kidding. It's not going to be the trade of the century, but it could be a really good opportunity if this starts to scale all the way back down towards this low of the day mark. Look at all that volume on that sell candle. Something's going to happen here. 15-minute chart looking bearish now. So if we can hold this downside momentum. So the descending triangle did play out a little bit, but it didn't. It went a little bit higher than I wanted it to. So here we go. Yeah, I'm not really so much of a breakout trader, honestly. I'm more of a reversal trader. So I buy calls at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, which is why you see them green, and I buy puts at the top of the Bollinger Bands, which is why you see them red. So usually tells me my sell signals and my buy signals. This zone I don't really like to trade, like the middle zones, but I did see a descending triangle with some weakness and this level to fill the gap. So we'll see what happens here. If it starts to break out towards the high here, then I'll be out of the trade. But I am up a little bit. I could move my stop loss up to mitigate some losses. Might push this up to like 80 cents. So if I get stopped out, that kind of blows. But 396.50, it's looking pretty good. It's using this as a resistance point. So just waiting on this. Could move this up to 200. Do I buy more? I'm down 25 bucks on the trade, 10 bucks on the trade. I'm only up 90 bucks on the day, which is literally nothing, but tomorrow is when the week starts to kick off. So if it starts to fade and gets down to this low of the day, could pay us really nicely. I used to use those, and that's your main way of trading. That is my main way of trading. Reversal trading, you're going to make the most amount of money on options, especially when you start to see a sideways bounce. If you know what a hammer candle is, you're going to start to see a reversal. That's usually my favorite play, is the hammer candle at the bottom of a Bollinger Band for the upside, or a shooting star candle, which is the inverse hammer candle at the top of this. So that's what I really love to play those. Question is do I mitigate my risk here? I'm going to keep pushing my stop loss up so I don't lose too much money if it starts to reverse on us here. Looks pretty weak to me, but volume is fading off here. Buyers could come in. We'll see what happens. So we're at 85 here. I don't really know what that max loss would be right now, but we'll see what happens. Looks like we could start to see a little bit of a spike down. This might be a pretty bogus trade. Sorry guys if you're following along. I'm only up 35 bucks, $5 on 6. It's pretty far out of the money, so it's going to be tougher to make money unless we see a pretty big drop here. Probably should have went for the 39.60s, but I'm still a fan of this, honestly. We're back within this downtrend. We rejected it twice. Lots of volume on this sell signal. So unless it breaks out above this 396.50, we're in business. 15 minutes still looks weak. This is what my initial target is, 395.50 or 394.50. If we retest this downtrend, we are in business. But this is the moment of truth, really. If it starts to break out above this, then we're out. But we're gonna speak this into existence here. We're gonna see a big drop down. We're gonna see that drop down below 396. We're gonna see that tap of the yellow line. The only thing that kind of bothers me is this Bollinger Band going sideways. Kind of shows me that it might just chop around the rest of the day, which I would hate to see. I could mitigate my risk and put my stop loss at like 100 here, so I would only lose 20 bucks a contract. We're starting to drop down a little bit. I'm up $95, 14% on the trade. Would love to see that spike down. You could see how much money you can make off these little rip downs. So if we can see a big ass red candle here down to this 396, could pay a lot of money. So the risk to reward ratio here is not that bad. I wish that my average was at 100 like I originally wanted to do it, but I got trigger happy. So I know I started doing this. I picked the 39.50 put because it's about that low of the day gap fill. So if you look at this SPX, where it closed yesterday was at 39.50. So I was looking for that gap fill down there to go near the money. You could do 39.60s, you could do 39.70s, you could do, in the monies, you could do whatever you want. But I was looking for this because it would be a cheap play. I'm up 13% on the trade, 200 on the day. I'm really looking for a lot more than that. I want to see a big drop, so I'm going to be patient. But as it goes in my way, I'm probably just going to mitigate my loss. So now I have a stop loss at 90 and 85. So if it bounces, I'll lose about $130 on the trade, and I'll be a little bit negative on the day, but I'll only be 50 bucks. I think I actually like that strategy. The breakouts have not been paying. Breakout strategies are great, but you need to determine them faster, right? So you can see the high of the day break here. And then on the bottom of the Bollinger Band, if you think it's going to break out at that point, plan for them a little bit earlier. Like you're not going to make as much money riding out you know, this break from 398 to 398 and then a squeeze, because a lot of times they get rejected. So if you anticipate that breakout, you can get a much better risk to reward ratio on the downside or upside, whichever way you play it. So I'm up 110 on the trade, 15%. I don't like how slow this is moving because it could see a nice little red candle. So I am going to, or green candle. So I am going to push this up to 95 now. I'm going to set my stop loss. There's 3, so it'll be about, what's that, 20, 40, 80, about $100 here is at risk. So I would be exactly flat. So I don't really have too much risk on this trade anymore. So now, not so nervous. I'm either down $100 on the trade, which would make me flat on the day, or I make a shit ton of money. So this is my risk management strategy. Risk management is literally everything when you're trading. At first, it's a little bit nerve-wracking because you got to get on the right side. But if you're in on the right side, then you can start moving your stuff towards the stop loss. So now we're starting to cook. We're up 170 a piece. I'm up 270 on the day. Now we're up $200 on the trade. I could start moving my stop loss up now towards break even. So now I'm at 105 is my stop. I could probably do it 110 here, and I actually might just set a stop at 110 and take out some profits here. So let's see if I can get out 150. Take some profits on the trade. It looks like there's some buyers at that 396. So it's a little scary for me, but now we're getting a little bit of greenery here. I don't want to see this stop me out. Come on, baby. We're only down $10 a contract here. If it stops me out on those 3 contracts, it's at 146, 150. I might just take out 2. Nah. 1? We'll take out 2 here in a second. No, we're not. We're only up 20 a contract. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set my stop loss even smaller here just in case it hits me, which it might hit me right here. It looks like there's some buyers at that 396, but I'm still looking for that big trade. So if I lose 120 down here, that's okay with me. Looks like there's some buyers. I don't like that. I play with my stop loss a lot. I could have probably made a little bit of money on that, but only up $35 on the trade. I'm not really looking for too much here. Looks like I might get squeezed out. Might stop me here. Yep, gonna get stopped. Lose about $100, but I'm going to take that trade every time. We were on the right side for a second, but we did get that bounce. So unless it rejects this level, then I'm gonna be out. But you got to mitigate your risk on the downside there. Could have taken like $30 a contract, but was not interested in that. Wanted some more downside, and now we're seeing that bounce, and I'm gonna get stopped. So right idea, wrong trade. Got in a little bit early, and now we're about to get stopped out. So. $25 a contract, so about $150 a piece here, unless it doesn't stop me out. But it looks like there's a lot of bullish momentum coming up, so it should push this right back out of this trend. I'm up $5. This trade's been kind of a hassle. Sorry, guys. It's a little bit far out of the money, so you're going to see it be pretty volatile, but I really did want to see this break down to low of the day. Now, my last little hoorah, last little rant here would be that if somehow, some way this goes against me, or this goes against this trend, which I don't think it's going to. I think there's too much momentum to the upside now. I'm seeing a lot of buyers come in here. Yeah. 395. Yeah, they're pushing this up. I'm up a little bit, but I don't know, man. Maybe it doesn't want to go. It's trying to find a base at that 396. There's a lot of buyers there at that block. So I'm still up. I don't want to take this profit. $65 is nothing. I'd rather lose $100 than take 65, just because I want to be right on this trade. That descending triangle has a way to play out. It looks a little weird. Still looks weird, but you guys can see this, right? It's kind of like, could see those 2 massive red candles here pretty soon, but it is forming that base, and I hate that. Right at this 396, that big red or that big green candle I don't like to see. So we'll see what happens here right at this trend line. Moment of truth. It's either I lose 100 or it starts to go our way. Down 10. Come on, baby. Anybody think that let's get some action in here. Do we think it's going our way or am I getting stopped? Are we getting stopped? It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys if we think we're getting stopped. I can tell you right now, this is some bullish momentum above this 399, 396.40. It'll start to reverse. I would hate to get stopped, but it's only gonna be 6 times 20, $120. It's still annoying though. So a small risk on the downside, but the upside potential was huge. Could have squeezed all the way up to that level. Could have made a good amount of money. Gonna get stopped here. Damn it. Damn it, guys. Damn it. So many buyers. This 15-minute chart does look pretty good, but I could pull my stop loss down even more, but you know how that goes. Then you lose more money that you don't want to lose if it's going against you. It formed that base at 396, and now it's starting to get out of this downtrend, which I don't like to see. So descending triangle was there. It's just not setting up exactly the way that it's mapped out to be. And it's probably because of that low volatility, no volume, middle of the day. But here we are, fighting for our life. And we're going to lose about $100. Be flat on the day, so I'll look for another trade here in a second. I still think we could get to that point, but I just got a premature entry. I'm probably going to have to move my strike price up to 39.60 here. So interesting play. Interesting play. It's still a descending triangle. I know everybody can see that, so I had to play it. Just random bounce at 39.60. And there we go. We're out of 3. Probably going to stop me out of my other 3 here in a second. Here in a second, probably. And we'll be out. Damn, that's annoying. Slow chop, didn't play out the way we wanted it to. I'm down $35 on the day. Probably going to be about 50 in here in a second. But you know, risk to reward ratio, that's kind of how you have to trade it. You got to play the small downside. You got to move your stop losses up. Keep going after it. But it does look like this 15-minute chart is switching a little bit bullish now that it's breaking out. Random base at that 396 for that bounce, but I was really hoping for that low of the day test. We almost got there. Yeah, I got stopped out. Well, I got stopped at a 3. I don't know why it hasn't stopped me out of these other 3 yet, but it's coming here in a second. There she is. But damn, look at this. Right here at this 396 level, completely bounced and reversed. But you saw that descending triangle. I know you did. I did. Everyone else did. Looked like it had that opportunity to really make a bank, but not going to be upset. This was almost there, just completely reversed on me. Right here, breakdown, got to that 396, and then it just bounced. So I'm going to take that trade 9 times out of 10, and if I only can lose 150 on it, I'll take it any day. So I'm having a really, really slow day, down 58. That trade could have paid me about $600, $700 if it played out the way I wanted it to, but didn't work out that way. I am going to take another trade for sure, but I don't see any opportunities right now. I can see this breaking out a little bit. Maybe I'll take a VWAP rejection, but I'm not going to take these 39.50s anymore. Most likely going to do 39.70s or 39.60s. That 15-minute chart does look bullish now, though, so 39.60s are 170. Could be a good opportunity because low of the day is 39.70. It's just getting closer and closer to the end of the day, so not seeing too much action. I know Tesla's still bullish. Meta is decently bullish. Amazon, decently bullish. That's so annoying. I know everybody saw that. Every single person saw that downtrend. And here it comes. I'm still feeling it. I don't know why. I'm going back in on just 2 contracts here at 210 just to get a little feel. I'm still feeling this downtrend. Even though it broke out of that initial one, I'm going to use this new one as a support here. I still feel like this yellow trend is going to be tested. Although these Bollinger Bands are starting to point at each other, I could end up screwing myself over here and going down 150 on the day. But I don't really use the 1 minute Bollinger Bands. Just kind of look at the 1 minute charts, just to look at the price action. So it is still making lower highs, that's for sure. As soon as I say that, it spikes up. But I am in this one at 210 here. It's down to 200, so I'm down 20 a contract, 5 a contract, 10 a contract. This is actually getting pretty tight too. We'll see what happens here. I'm only in 2 contracts, just kind of feeling out if we're going to get that reversal or not. I wanted to go closer to the money just because they're going to shred the SPX 3950s because that's pretty far out of the money. But low of the day would put these about $10 away. I still love that 394.50. Let me take a look at this daily chart real quick just to be sure I'm not missing anything. 394, kind of a doji candle. Still don't really know which way it wants to go. 4 hour looks pretty bullish now, actually. 1 hour. 1 hour looks kind of bearish, honestly, if we go this way. Just that retest. 30-minute, bearish as well. 15-minute. 15-minute just kind of showing some consolidation. This rejection here, but this ramp back up kind of shows me that it's bullish. Let me see this 5-minute. Still looking at that level. It's trying to break out. Got 2 of these contracts at 210. Down 20, 78 on the day. I still love this low of the day mark. It's going against me, that's for sure. But I like it. It's right at this level. It's struggling this level. Like really struggling. Has a little bit of an uptrend on the 1 minute chart. But it is just chopping like crazy. It's at 205. So much slow, choppy shit. Trying to force trades right now. It's probably the bad thing that I'm doing. I haven't really seen any opportunities this week. Still would like to go green, even though I'm only down $100. It's nothing. VWAP does look like it's strong resistance, but I don't really want to play it that high. VWAP being strong resistance means that there's no more lower highs. So if there's no lower highs, that's an issue. This doesn't push anywhere. Damn. Might lose an extra $50 here, guys. Just trying to get this down. There we go. The hell was that? Massive seller. Where did that come from? 700 to sell. 507 to sell. We're starting to see some volatility. We're going to start seeing a big move here. I bet you it's the downside too. So it's exactly what I'm looking for. I bet you these guys start to sell this off right now. So I'm going to try and catch myself into getting more of these. Don't want to buy high though. I'm up 55 on the trade. This breakdown the low of the day, these things could be worth 700 a piece. So that could be 500. That could be $1,000 trade right there. Never mind. All of a sudden, the volatility just stopped. Interesting. How do they even do that? How do they just spike it down and all of a sudden they just slow it down? Nah, we got that. I'm confident this is going to break down now. I'm serious. This is going to this line right here, and it's going to go to that yellow line. I'm going to make $1,000 on 2 contracts, and we're going to call it a day. Up 55, break even on the day. Still haven't had a nice little breakout trade just yet, which is annoying the shit out of me. Little wedge getting tighter. It's going to break one way or the other here. Hopefully this way. But these Bollinger Bands pointing at each other is not a good sign. Should probably put a stop loss on this because it could squeeze. I'll lose an extra 50 bucks here. 185 is my stop. 50 bucks will be it. If I get stopped on this, I'm going to go get some food, take a break, and then come back, and then hopefully we can get that profitable trade because this is, I'll be down 100 bucks, but it's nothing. I want to see puts. Actually, should we make it fun? Should I buy 10 contracts here, guys? Should I buy 10 more for this drop? 70 bucks on 2, 90 bucks on 2. God damn it. It's either going to bounce on this or it's going to go. Let's extend this to the right. This is that trend that it's going to hold up either or break down. Now I'm going to move my stop loss up as always. There'll be literally barely any risk on this trade. If it bounces, and I lose no money. So that's my trading style. Very minimal losses, very small risk. Once it goes my way, I move my stop loss up. Could take those little profits, but that's when options trading gets boring as shit. Because I don't want to make like $40, $50. I want to make a couple $100 per trade. Up 40. I want to see a breakdown. I want to see these sellers get caught here, but it is bouncing on this uptrend too. So in about 5-10 minutes, we're going to see a pretty big move one way or the other off of this little wedge. To me, it's downside. To everybody else, looks like it might go to the upside. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it with this volume, with this downtrend. I think that there's a lot more downside to come here. I think we'll get one more crack down, and then we could see that break out of this little downtrend here. But we'll see. Volume is really low. Had a nice little rejection candle right here for that sell-off. We did that right here too, and then it kind of reversed on us. So we just got some chop hours. That's all we got. And I'm not going to take my profits and be up $2 on the day. That would be a pretty rough day. I'd rather be down $100 or up 800. So we'll see what happens here. I just want one trade today. I haven't seen one trade play out because it's just so choppy. Or at least I haven't timed it correctly just yet. Up 75, 17%. That's usually a pretty good take profit point. If I had 10 contracts, I would have taken that already. But in terms of the smaller contract values, with 2, I'm not going to take that. Yeah, deck is up $1.90 on the day. We're crushing it in here today. We're getting rich. Now I'm down 8, so he's better than me. What is going on here? Why is there no movement? I just want to see one move. I might just secure it, take my money, and then just run. Up $7. I'm better than deck. $12. Wow. We're rich, guys. You can never go broke taking profits, but you can never get rich taking profits too quick. Can we just see a breakdown? For the love of God. This is awful. Just watching paint dry. I still see that level. I still see this. This is kind of a descending triangle still, even though it didn't break this one. But this low of the day, I feel like there's going to be one candlestick that's going to be a massive red candle that we've seen 3 times today, 4 times today. 1, 2, 3. This one was even a large one here. I just want to see that large drop to low of the day, which I feel like is very possible. The reason I'm so biased to the downside is this gap fill. They jumped up, we gapped up, and we still have not seen this level right here. And we have the FOMC meeting tomorrow. I don't feel like people are going to be like, oh yeah, I want to hold all my money into that risky ass meeting, hold it overnight, especially if we gap down. I'm up $40, $50. I want to see a breakdown below this trend line. Can we get it? There we go. Push down below this 396 for me, please. Oh, my bad. I forgot that I had them both waiting. All right. I'm gonna try and get out of one just because I can't watch this anymore. All right, we're up $12 on the day, guys. But now my stop loss is gonna be a break even. And I'll try to come back in power hour to make a good trade, but this is just like, this is shit. This is so bad. Down 18. Please stop me out. Please put me out of my misery. I do think that this breaks down today, but I don't think that it's going to be right now. I think we're going to get a couple more hours of chop, and then tomorrow will be different. Holy shit. This was terrible. Okay, cool. So we're down $28 on the day. I'll make a trade later on today to see if I can make any sort of money back, but this is just awful. Yeah, here we go. With these Bollinger Bands pointing at each other, there's going to be nothing. Wait till they go sideways. We probably got another like 30 minutes of that, and then we could see a move. So I'll probably be back on around then. But hopefully you got a little bit of something out of like the descending triangle and some risk management here, because I had a decent amount of chunk of change at risk, but there wasn't that much money on the downside. So I'm down 28 on the day, but that's kind of how I play my trades, is I keep my losses very small. So when it is like 28, 30, 40, even up to $200 loss days, the profitability that I had on the setup there, if it played out the way I wanted it to, I'd be up 400, 600, 800, over $1,200. So that's how you're successful in this game. You have to stay consistent, keep your losses small, your risk management on the downside. If you continually get stopped out, it doesn't matter, right? I could get stopped out 6 times for what, $40 a contract, and that's only $240. But if I'm right one time on that trade, I'll make 700. So I could go 1 for 8 and still make a good amount of money. That's where risk management literally is everything in trading, especially if you're trading options. So keep those losses really small. Make sure that your entries, you're entering in perfectly. I had a good mistake today for you guys to realize. I was looking for that entry right here on this breakdown, right here for this original downtrend. And I ended up taking some entries at here. So if I wanted them here, it still got above me. That's why I didn't make money on the trade, because if I would have got them at 100 or 90, I would have made $60, $70 on a contract here, 60%, 70%. And if I would have got 10 of them, that's a good amount of money. But I got in a little prematurely. So make sure your entry points are exactly where you want them, and your risk management on the downside, make sure it's a lot smaller than you can make on the upside. So the risk to reward ratio is always huge for me. I always look for 4 to 5 R, meaning like if I'm going to lose, $50, I want to be able to make $250 on the upside, or $200. So small losses, big wins. This is too choppy. Hopefully you got some education out of it, but if you guys need me, I'm always available.